Hey guys, welcome back to XDA. Today we're going to talk about an app called Ampere. It's an application that gives us the ability to understand what rate is our device charging at and what rate is our device discharging at. Something new. Let's check it out. When we think of power, and what we think of essentially is what we do with power, we get it from different sources. We get it from either portable power banks that we're able to charge and recharge using them. We're able to get it from regular power chargers, or in this case, this is the power charger, the turbo one that comes with the Nexus 6. Next, we have USB cables. Those are the normal run-of-the-mill cables that you usually get with your device when you purchase it. And you're able to basically sync data with it, but mostly charge with it. And that's usually what we use this for, more than actually just syncing information over it. And of course, we have different types. Last but not least, we also have the ability of wirelessly charging our devices. But the short version of what I'm trying to get to you guys is, all of these things provide us power, but the fact of the matter is the power is stored in our device, and we need to have a better understanding of what is this power being consumed at what rate. So as you can see here, the normal system right now, my device is not plugged in, it's not charging it, and it's actually at the discharge rate. It tells us obviously the version of the device, the version of the operating system, the model number, gives us basically the voltage and the temperature and the health of the actual overall system, and it says basically it's on battery and it's discharging. That's basically where I am right now. And what happens when you start charging? What is exactly that percentage? First thing I'm going to go through is explain to you guys what a little bit of the application is. We do have a little bit of just information rating the application. There is really no setup into this application. The moment you install it and turn it on, it works right out of the box. The only prerequisite is it needs about maybe 5 to 10 seconds to do the measuring, and essentially it does a quick sample rate of multiple different readings, and it gives you the average over that time. And it gives you the ability of looking at the minimum voltage, which is a negative 420, this is since I turned it on, and to a high voltage of negative 1140. Now, what this is saying essentially is, in my current state, in the discharge state, the minimum I've actually been able to discharge, meaning the system usage as I'm talking to you guys and using it right now, is 420 amps. Or milliamps, and then of course the maximum was 1140, and at that point I had the screen brightness fully bright all the way to the top, and I actually kind of lowered it down. So obviously the more you use out of your device, you're using more power obviously, and that's why you have a shorter life battery. But what happens when we start basically connecting our device to things and charging things with them? So what we're going to do is we're going to use this USB cable that we get. Most of us get them with our device when we purchase them, and what we do essentially is always end up plugging in our device and trying to charge our device using those power cords. So we're going to use a power bank for this example. I've charged many things in the past with it, and I'll show you guys an example in 1 second. But now that I've plugged it in, you can notice that the actual symbol for charging goes up on the top. It says measuring. It changes color. Now it's in the greenish bluish color, and it gives us the ability of understanding now what the rating of the charge state is. Minimum is 730, maximum is 770. It tells us it's on an AC charger based on the fact that the current that it's pulling right now is faster than a normal standard 1 amp. I have it on the 2.1 amp port on my RAV Power power brick. And what it gives us here essentially is, again, same information we had before, but now we have a better understanding of how much power I'm actually getting out of it. If you actually click the battery itself here, it just gives you the ability of looking at the battery history. This is just really a running history. This is unfortunately only functional on Lollipop based on the fact of how Lollipop actually works. If you've used a Lollipop-based device, you know that when you're charging it after some time, your screen lock starts telling you, at least on the AOSP-based ROMs, how much time it is going to have for it left over for it to charge the device entirely. And that's because there's actually metrics coming out of the system that give you the information for it and how much it's charging. You guys saw from the hands-on that it's pretty simple really as far as an application. No real setup, easy to actually turn on. Once you install it and use it, you actually right away get the information as far as minimum and maximum as far as the rate for that specific session. So if you change from either being charging state to discharging state, it resets that metric and gives you only information for that specific state that you're in during that period. I like the fact that it actually is pretty simple as far as the interface, gives you all the information. It also gives you the type of charging that you're doing. If you go faster or higher levels than 1 amp or some of the standard wall warts, it starts recognizing it as an AC adapter, and that's mostly because of the rate of the current, and it actually has a measurement and kind of a scale of where it starts measuring itself. Wireless charging is also easily connected, and it also shows you basically that, as we all know, wireless charging by default is always going to be slower than any other form of charging. It's convenient, but always be slower. But anyways, you don't do wireless charging because that's the best way to do it. Overall, I think it's a very nice application, easy. The only limitation that it has right now is that it actually only supports Lollipop-based devices. So essentially anything prior to Android 5.0, it's not going to work, unfortunately. But the good thing is a lot of our devices, or at least a lot of the main flagship from last year and this year, are starting to get lollipops pushed out to them. With the Galaxy devices, HTC started releasing a lot of them. And of course, the Nexus devices have already been bumped up to those levels. So let me know what you guys think. Have you used any other applications? In the past, I've used battery measuring applications that have only worked on specific devices. My Note 3, I have a battery stat app that I'm actually pretty comfortable with and I've used for quite some time. It's a good application, but it only works on my Note 3, and as time goes on and you move on with new devices, you're not going to have all of that. So I like the way this application works. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As usual, like and subscribe to this channel, like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.